Following Kyiv's incursion into the Kursk region inside Russia, the Pentagon is now trying to get a clear picture of Ukraine's longer-term objectives in the region. This recent surprise move by Ukraine, it's changing the trajectory of the war. It's also boosting morale among Ukraine's war-weary population. However, the ultimate outcome of the incursion, that remains impossible to predict at the moment. My name is Kursk, and to discuss this further, we now have with us Olena, tregub, Secretary General, Independent Defense Anti-Corruption Committee, joining us live from Kyiv. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
Ma'am, how do you think the Ukrainian incursion into Kursk has been received in Ukraine? Do you think these gains by Ukraine have helped energize the war-weary population?
Yes, of course. It is very good for the morale of Ukraine. People are very tired in Ukraine, and there are, of course, discussions in society about possible ceasefire, possible negotiation, but at the same time, everybody understands that it's not an option for Ukraine because Russia wants to destroy Ukraine and Russia will not really negotiate with Ukraine. Therefore, yes, it's a boost, like you said, it's correct. But also, it's very important aspect that it is the change of mentality for our Western partners who were afraid of escalation and who did not want us to protect Ukrainian territory by going into Russian territory. But now, this is happening, and as you can see, no escalation has happened. Vladimir Putin is demonstrating to his own society and his own partners, international partners, that everything is okay. It's not a big deal. He now traveled to Azerbaijan, even though there are no important documents signed during this visit. It means that he tries to create appearance that everything is okay, and this visit is trying to create appearance also for international community that Russia is strong. But in reality, Kursk incursion showed that Russia doesn't have things under control, and Russia is much weaker than international partners perceived it to be.
Right. Now, of course, the strategic goals and objectives are being questioned, as I mentioned earlier as well. What do you think Ukraine's long-term goals are here?
I think that Ukraine will try to control this territory at least for several months. And for us, it's a territory on the border with Ukraine. And according to international law, we should control that territory in order to protect Ukraine from different incoming fire shelling coming from that territory. So that may become, possible bargain for some arrangement with Russia, for example, because Russia will try to destroy our energy infrastructure completely during this winter. And we may try to negotiate about Russia not destroying it. So I think it's a very good strategic move by Ukraine because we really had very limited forces. And we decided to use them on Russian territory. And I think now it's the task of the political leadership to play with what our military have achieved already. And we'll see how this card will be played in the future.
Absolutely, ma'am. In fact, I was just going to come to this next. Do you think with the current numbers and the weapons in its arsenal, Ukraine can sustain this fight and gains in Russia? Russia has said that its forces have taken control of what it described as the strategically important logistics hub in New York in eastern Ukraine. So what's the path forward?
Well, the path forward is to convince our international partners who give us long-range missiles, such as the United Kingdom, France, and the United States of America, to allow Ukraine for long-range strikes deep inside Russia with their weapon. And that will not lead any escalation, but it will actually help to de-escalate this war, because Russia will be afraid to do some things which we consider red line here in Ukraine if they know we have capacity to respond in that way. So for now, this has not been achieved yet, even though the partners already, as you saw, have very calm reaction about German weapon or British weapon used on Russian sovereign territory in Kursk, but missiles not yet. So I think we should convince that we now need more assistance and we need more courage from our Western partners, because it's not fair the way Ukraine was made to fight this war to protect itself without actually being able to strike back. It's not fair. It's very wrong. And we need to convince the world that it's very wrong and it shouldn't be this way. It should be fair. If Russia attacks us, we can also respond.
All right. Well, Mr. Tregub, thank you so much for joining us on WION World is One with your insights on this. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.